Yo, so if you missed my first video, I found this and made a build out of it. This is an update to that build that is 100% times better. So, with these two items, we have a pretty busted chain lightning build for the new patch. I also found this, which isn't essential, but I think it works pretty great in this build. My first video was more of a proof of concept, but this video will be more of an in-depth guide with a full breakdown of what I'm running and why. So let's get started. Initially, this was going to be a meme build around the Oculus because the random ass teleporting, but after playing with it, I realized there was a potential for a super high mobility sorcerer. That paired with buffs to lightning in patch 1.1.1 convinced me that it was possible to not play Frost. As far as gear, on my gloves I'm running Ancient Flame, which gives you attack speed boost when Esu's passive is active. I'll explain it a little bit more when we look at the skill tree. It's getting a small buff, which will help with boss encounters. And most importantly, you want ranks of Frozen Orb and Chain Lightning, if you can find it. Crit chance, crit damage, and lucky chance or mana on hit is also good here. Pants are a little more generic with your defense stats, but you want ranks of Ball Lightning. Avoid control impaired duration reduction, because it's a pretty bad stat for this. You get a lot of ways to break out of hard CC, so you won't really need it. As far as aspect goes, I'm running Protector for the extra survivability against elite mobs. Also running Topaz on all armor pieces, just to reduce damage in case I do get CC'd. For boots, you definitely need Teleport. Between the boots and the wand, you can have between like 6 and 12 ranks just from gear, which frees up a lot of points for other skills. Ranks in ice armor are also very good. Move speed is the only stat I don't have that I would really like, but I spent 10 million gold like re-rolling and all I got was a dodge. As far as aspect goes, we're running charged because it gives you a nice consistent speed boost when you're collecting the Crackle, and the duration is also getting buffed from 4 to 8 seconds. For rings, I have one ring dedicated solely to keeping the mana topped off. The first version of this build felt really clunky because it relied way too much on the Crackle, so I switched one ring out and loaded it with as much mana stats as I could, even running Determination just for the additional regen. This plus some more regen from the Paragon Tree really smooths out the kinks. For the second ring, I left alone. It's pretty much pure damage stats with a little bit of regen. Running the Elemental Heart, which gives you extra DPS, which works great with Elementalist, which is a glyph we are also running in this build. Also using Stable Currents for our aspect to proc free casts of other shock skills like Lightning Ball. For our offhand, we're just using Focus with extra CDR, Intelligence. Crackling damage is good too, because we're going to be dealing a lot of damage through that. Basically anything that gives you a DPS boost. We're also running Gravitational for the aspect because it's getting a pretty significant buff from decreased damage to increased damage, and we'll get free cast from this when we pop our ult. My helm is kinda meh. Like ideally you'd want good defense stats like max health, percent armor, percent damage reduction, max mana would also be good too. But I'm running Crowded Sage because I need some healing that didn't rely on pots. But you could run other like aspects like Protecting or Disobedience, and it would probably be better, honestly. So if you enjoy spastastic gameplay, frame drops, and carpal tunnel, you'll fucking love this build. Seriously though, I think this is the best lightning build on patch 1.1.1. I've had a lot of fun just zipping around dungeons, spamming chain lightning, and seeing all the different particles litter my screen. And collecting the Crackle is like a mini game in it of itself. So basically the way you play this build is you TP in, stun everything, cast Chain Lightning a few times, and TP out. Continue to cast Chain Lightning, watch your freebie skills get casted, and repeat. When things get scary, you pop your Chi Shield and run away. Pop Ice Shield if you think you're gonna get hit again. Every time you use your evade, you proc your barrier passive. When you need to ramp your DPS up, you pop your ult and get attack speed boost and free cast from it. and whenever you kill something with a crit, you proc the speed boost from Aspect of the Ancient Flame. Whenever you hit something, your evade cooldown is reduced. It's actually kind of broken that you can just cast teleport basically infinitely with almost no downtime. The biggest drawbacks I've found are that TP can put you in a bad place. Like sometimes it'll glitch you into the terrain, and the only way you can like leave is by teleporting to a town or leaving the dungeon. You also feel a little weak against like single target encounters, so like lone elites or bosses. But other than that, this build is like dummy stupid. Alright, so let's move on to the skill tree and then Paragon Tree. Okay, so for our skill bar, or action bar, we'll be running Teleport, Ice Armor, Flame Shield, Unstable Currents, Chain Lightning, and then this last skill is actually interchangeable. You can do Frozen Orb or you can do Ball Lightning. Frozen Orb is just so you have a more consistent way of getting the cold damage to activate your Elementalist Glyph and your Elemental Heart. But I think Ball Lightning is better because it's going to have a higher DPS. So you can kind of figure out which one you want to do for yourself. Alright, so what you want to do is take 2 in Firebolt. We're going to use this in one of our enchantment slots. We're going to use this to proc the fire damage for both our glyph and our heart. And then in Frozen, or in Core, we're going to take Frozen Orb. We take 3 points in, take Greater Frozen Orb. This has a chance to apply Vulnerable, which is good for us. And then we also want to put this into our second enchantment slot. That way when you cast Chain Lightning, you have a chance to cast Frozen Orb. And then in Chain Lightning, like, put as much as you can into this. This is like your bread and butter. This is where all your DPS comes from. And then take Destructive Chain Lightning, so we have more chance to generate Crackling energy. 3 in Devastation for more mana. 2 in Flame Shield, so we can get the move speed bonus. And then I only have 3 in Teleport to get Shimmering Teleport. And then the rest come from items. So it's really important to try to get the cooldown on this as low as you can, just because this is going to be the most reliable way to dodge, because your evade is now like super random. You won't be able to pick the direction you evade in, so sometimes you'll literally evade into the same spot, which is kind of dumb, but that's just how the Oculus works. 1 in Elemental Attunement for the chance to reset one of these. 2 in Ice Armor to get the enhanced version for mana regen. The other 4 points come from the pants. 3 in Precision Magic to help increase the chance of proccing this, as well as other skills. 1 in Align the Elements for just a little bit more defense, but really we want protection. So when you use Evade, this actually procs. It considers it a cast of Teleport, so you can pretty much always have like a small barrier up at all times. 1 in Inner Flames, just so we can get Devouring Blaze to increase our critical strike damage. 3 into Ball Lightning, so that we can get the Wizard's Ball Lightning, which helps us generate more Crackle. And then this is also very good for us because it scales with our attack speed, and we get a pretty large like boost from attack speed from our aspect on our gloves. And then we take pretty much all the shock skill passives. So this one's for critical strike, which will help us form more crackling energy. And then this is probably the most important, invigorating conduit. This makes it so when you pick up those little blue orbs, you get mana back. So this is like the crux of the build. And then we get 3 of these passively from our amulet. 2 in Fiery Surge, again for mana regen. And then we take Unstable Currents, because it just works really good with this build. Even more attack speed here. And then this is more towards the Crackling Energy side, which we like. And then down the other passive tree, I just went down the left side. It's all good. But you can also take this. This is more of a defensive version, or a defensive passive. I didn't take it because I didn't have enough points, but I mean, it is good. And then we take Esu's Ferocity. So it's kind of weird one to take, just because we don't really use any fire damage outside of the burning from our enchantment. But because we did take this aspect, we get that huge speed boost. Like 50% is no joke. And then that will affect our ball lightning. Like I said earlier, it scales with attack speed. So between the 50% from our aspect and the 25% from unstable currents when you cast it, I mean, 200% times 75%. Like I don't know, that sounds like a big number to me. And then as far as proccing this, as long as you kill something with a critical strike, it grants the effect. So we trigger the aspect. And then with the buff that is live on 1.1.1, when we fight like a boss, as long as we crit the boss, it'll trigger the effect. So it's gonna make fighting bosses, and I think solo elites as well, I'm not sure, I have to check. It's gonna make those like a lot better for this build, because before it was kind of struggling. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see how it works. Alright, so for Paragon, we're taking Resilience for the defense. And then for our glyph, for the first one, we're going to be taking Unleash. So this one is also for mana regen. This is just like insurance that you're going to have enough mana when you need it. Then we take this one too for more resistance. And as we go up, we're using the Crackle energy board. I don't remember what it's called, but we take Conduit. I didn't have enough points to get this one, but I would take this too. We're also going to take Ceaseless Conduit. So this is cool because it gives us a chance to not like consume one of the charges. And then the damage boost you get from this too is kind of insane for the Crackle. I'll show you in a second. We also take the one that's over here, which is also a Crackle energy damage increaser. And then for our second glyph slot, we're taking Charged, which gives us a boost in damage for picking up Crackle or Crackling energy. Then from here we move on to the I think this is the enchantment board. So yeah, enchantment master. So this is just to make the enchantments a little bit stronger, because I figured why not, but I haven't quite gotten there yet. I need 2 more levels. And on the right side here, we're taking the board that gives us mana for stunning. So we'll be doing a lot of that just by teleporting into enemies. Same here, more CC damage. And then for the third slot, this is the Elementalist. So between the Elementalist and the Elemental Heart, we should be getting what, 46 to 48% damage increased. So that's, I think, one of the higher like multipliers. And then we also take this just because, well, I took it because it gives more mana, but it is good though, because more damage to stunned enemies, so dual purpose. But that is my Paragon tree so far. So I just wanted to show the some of the stats here. So for mana, this is what my max mana is at right now. At 15, mana regeneration feels good, but we also get more from Paragon as well as aspects. So keep that in mind, that this is probably like in the 20s or 30s, maybe. I don't know, I'm not good at math, so I didn't do the math. And then the other thing I wanted to look at is crackling damage. So this is what it's at right now. The day before patch. Once the patch is live, this is going to go up because they are buffing the conduit board, I believe. So that will be good. But I did want to mention that. And yeah, I'll probably be playing the patch once it goes live, and then I'll add the whatever run I do to the end of this video. So if you want to keep watching, you can see how this build performs on the new patch. I strongly believe it's going to be very, very, very good. Like, there's just too much going on for this build for it to be bad now. But yeah, that's the build. I hope you enjoyed the video. Leave a like, comment, subscribe, and all that. I'm like pretty dang new to like making videos and shit. So yeah, let me know if you like this stuff or not. Validate my existence. Thank you. Goodbye.
I'm not ready yet. I'm not ready yet. I'm not ready yet. Ready yet. I'm not ready yet. I'm not ready yet. Ready yet. Low on precious mana. I'm not ready yet. Ready yet. I'm not ready yet. I'm not ready yet. Ready yet. I need time to I'm not ready yet. I'm not ready yet. I'm not ready yet.
Alright, so it's not really goodbye. You made it all the way to the end. I just wanted to give you a quick teaser of what is to come. So I found this, and I found this, and I think I have a build in mind. So stay tuned if you want to find out. Alright, thanks. See ya.